Good evening, everyone. How lovely for you to join us. It's so great to see people coming back weekly for these sessions, and like I say, each and every week, I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. This week we have a very special guest, all the way from Louisiana, but I'm not going to spoil the surprise and I'll let Chica introduce him. I think it's been a pleasure working with him and putting this show together, and we hope you enjoy it as much as I have. To begin with, there's going to be a quick poll just to get some data on how you're feeling now, and this will help us evaluate how it might change or how you might feel after you've listened to the music that we've put together. For those that are on Facebook, please feel free to comment below on how you feel now, any states. Are you relaxed? Are you happy? Are you anxious? If you joined before, how do you feel? So last couple of seconds for the words to finish. Great, thank you for those that took part. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Chica Robertson. She's from the Music, Mind, Spirit Trust, and she is a key component in helping us develop these weekly sessions, and she's an absolute joy to work with. When she speaks, you'll see that beautiful smile that she has on her face, and she just brings joy to me, us, and to the team together. So, Dr. Chica Robertson.
Thank you very much, Paris. It's absolutely delightful to see you all here tonight. So many friends from both sides of the pond. Thank you so much. It's a very special evening because we have Professor Mark Ross Clark all the way from the Bayou with his wonderful colleagues. We have Rachal Bouriaque, Ryan Kersh, and Margaret Hole along with Mark. Now, Mark is currently the Professor of Music and Theater at the University of Louisiana. For about 10 years, he was head of opera at Indiana University. He founded and directs now the Louisiana Opera and is much in demand all throughout the world as an opera director, workshop leader, and singer in the US, Europe, and the Far East. Mark started off singing at the Hollywood Bowl, singing solos, and I remember, Mark, when I first heard an amazing voice. I think I was playing in the festival orchestra at the Mozarteum in Salzburg, and it ended up being you there. Mark sang for the Carpenters and has even adjudicated for the Metropolitan Opera auditions for many years. I'm so pleased to announce Mark as our first international professional music mentor for the Music, Mind, Spirit Trust's Young Artists Musical Ambassadors, who often are featured on this program as well. I love working on this show because it absolutely connects us up with the very finest and most wonderful people. And I'm going to turn over to you now, Mark, and welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Robertson, for that introduction. And it is a great pleasure and honor to have the opportunity to present students from the University of Louisiana here in Monroe, Louisiana, as well as myself and some special guests. First of all, we have a young soprano whose name is Rachal Bouriaque, and she has performed at ULM, as we call it, in a number of operas that the students have performed at the university, as well as musicals. And she also sings many different styles. And today we're very pleased to present many styles to you as well, featuring these singers as well as the beautiful Bayou, the very interesting and mysterious Bayou in Louisiana. And Rachal will sing a song by Emmylou Harris, which is called First Aid Kit. And she plays her guitar with her voice, beautiful voice. And as I said, she plays at local restaurants and plays with a band as well. That was Rachal Bouriaque singing the Emmylou Harris song, First Aid Kit. And now we also add to Rachel singing another student, young, very talented baritone, Ryan Kersh. And Rachel and Ryan are going to sing a duet from the musical Jekyll and Hyde by Frank Wildhorn, which we prepared for a performance that was supposed to be last March at the university. And this is a very brief, short, but extremely poignant and emotional duet called Letting Go. And it takes place at the engagement party between Dr. Jekyll and Emma. And at the end of the engagement party, Emma has a little exchange with her father. And he is very concerned about letting her go and is afraid that he's going to lose her, and he finds it very, very hard to let her go. And this duet is also, the track has been arranged by Mr. Justin Havard, who's on our faculty. And so that track is going to be played as an accompaniment. And I also would like to thank Joanna Clark for her camera work. Thank you.
Emma, don't you understand? It's you that I'm concerned for.
Father, don't be. You should be concerned for him. He's born in me.
I am only trying to protect you. What else would you have your father do? I think I would die if any harm should come to you. I'm scared, my child, because I'm going to lose you. I find it very hard to let you go.
Father, you tried to, you could never lose me. Loving Father, I still love you more than you will ever know. If we want our love to grow,
I know in time I have to let you go. You mustn't be afraid of letting me go.
And now we have a song that is a very, very well-known song. It won the Academy Award for Best Song in a Picture in 1960, and that is Moon River. I was inspired to sing this song after hearing the arrangement that Nigel played a couple of weeks ago on this program. And it's a beautiful arrangement, and actually it was the same arrangement that I sang at the Hollywood Bowl with the Roger Wagner Chorale. But of course, I was stuck on the bass part. So it's always been a melody that I've wanted to sing. And so I decided to sing it here. And I wanted to pass on a little story too, which is when we performed this with the Roger Wagner Chorale, the Los Angeles Philharmonic, number of years ago. I was passing the dressing room of Henry Mancini, the composer of the song, who was conducting the performance, and I knocked on his door, and being young and courageous, interrupted his intermission time to ask him a question, and that was, in the song Moon River, what does Huckleberry Friend mean? He said, how should I know? I wrote the music and not the words. We're very fortunate. As singers, we have words and music. But I've always been curious about Huckleberry Friend, and I eventually found out that Huckleberry Friend means it's actually a 19th century term, which means the perfect friend. And so I would like to sing that for you today. That is the great melody Moon River, probably recorded by more people than for any other song that's been recorded. So I would like to sing then Moon River for you.
Go.
sing you in stars someday. Oh, dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbow's end, waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and me. Thank you. The next song is also sung by Rachal Bouriaque and with the guitar accompaniment. And this song is very special. It's an original song that Rachel has written and would like to sing for you. And it is called There's a Light.
I've been following this program and it's been inspiring. It's been, every time that I've watched it, I've come away with something to go through the next week with, another thought, another feeling. One of the shows made me think, this song, I chose it because I wrote it just sitting on my bed in a room, just reflecting on the day and memories and all that. And it just came, it was natural and it stuck with my heart. It's my favorite song that I've written to this day. So this is, There's a Light.
Smiles and rainbow kisses, laughter in the dark, reaching out to touch. This very world wraps us slowly, gentle into bring back my light, make true every heart a song, sigh into this empty room, breathing life to light, star-crossed dreams fly over, stardust dreaming, covering our hearts in quiet wonder. Bring back my light, hope into the day, a future I never realized. Streams of sunshine
Now we come to our last song of our little concert today. And I wanted to explain before, as I introduce it, that I've had the great opportunity and honor a couple of years ago, when I was finishing a book about Broadway songs and was able to interview a number of composers and singers and lyricists for this Broadway songbook. And I had the opportunity to interview Harvey Schmidt a number of times. And Harvey Schmidt and Tom Jones, not the Welsh singer, but the American lyricist, wrote a number of great American musicals in the 1960s. That includes The Fantastics in 1960, followed by 110 in the Shade, and then I Do, I Do on Broadway. The Fantastics still has an amazing record of performances of over 17,000 performances in a string of 40 years between 1960 and 2000, in which it was performed without any break or stop in the run, and then it took up again in 2005. So it is a traditional and a favorite and allegorical play, a wonderful play. And when I was interviewing him, I learned the story about this next song that I would like to sing for you, Try to Remember. This is the song that opens the show, and perhaps with Moon River, these two songs are the songs that have been recorded the most by other artists. And Try to Remember is a great, iconic melody, beautiful melody. And again, it opens the show, and when the show was about to first premiere, it had no opening song. And so Harvey was pushing to find this song, and he told me that one day he still had some time left on his practice room in New York City, which is what you have to do in New York City, is to rent practice rooms. And he went into a practice room and he sat down, and a melody came through his fingers. And by the way, Harvey Schmidt could not read music. He was a trained illustrator, world famous illustrator and artist. And he just started playing this song by ear, and it was so easy expressed, so easily coming out, that he thought he was just playing another song he had known, like The Streets of Laredo, he said. But it just, again, without words, just the melody, the song. And then Tom Jones brilliantly brought the words to the song. Both of the composer and lyricist were only about 30 years old, but these are wise lyrics and very mature work. The Fantastics, a brilliant work, play, and music. Sung by El Gallo at the beginning of the show. And it also is such a great song. It's repeated, one verse is repeated at the end. We are going to do it as it's meant to be performed, in that we have the same orchestration, or the same orchestra as originally conceived for the Fantastics, which is just harp, and actually harp and piano, but in this song it's only harp. And it's difficult to bring a harp out into the outside in Louisiana, 96-degree Fahrenheit weather and 85% humidity it's been. But we're able to do this because, believe it or not, my costumer at the university, Margaret Hall, who creates costumes and costumes the opera, the musicals, and the Louisiana Opera, and has come with us to Italy and Oregon festivals, is a harpist and has played the show before. And so brilliant that she was able to come and accompany me in this song with our other two student singers singing background in it as well. So I would like to close the program saying thank you very much for the opportunity to sing, to perform for you. It's been a pleasure. And I hope you enjoy Try to Remember.
That was incredible, Mark. Thank you so much. Unbelievable.
Thank you, Chica.
Great. Thank you to both Mark and Chica. Chica working behind the scenes to get Mark to come join us. Mark for spending the time, and his team and his students to put that together for us. And in that heat that you mentioned, I for one probably struggled in that. So thank you very much. I'm sure it's appreciated as well.
Thank you, Paris.
Next, I'd like to pass over to Nigel, who's going to provide us an overview and breakdown of what we've heard tonight.
Thank you. Good evening. And thank you very, very much, Mark. Thank you to Rachel and to Ryan, to Margaret for that wonderful performance and that very special atmosphere of being on the Bayou. Speaking from chilly Scotland, I can only imagine warm kind of vista of warmth and summer, very, very heartening. So looking at if I can ask Paris to put up our analyses, first of all, we use X System, which is a program that analyzes music to predict its effect on human beings, on minds and bodies. And we do this because that's useful for medicine and for intervening in the things that we're doing with our program together. So this is just the overall picture of the evening. These colored circles, the bottom of the circles is when you're feeling very, very relaxed. The top is when you're very excited, aroused. To the left is sadness, and to the right is happiness. And what you can see is that all of these songs are more or less in the middle of sadness and happiness. They should be a little bit more to the right. And why are they a little bit to the left? Because of the cicadas that were interrupting the whole time. Now, of course, we have nice associations with cicadas, but at the same time, it does have a distracting effect. I can remember being in the Malaysian rainforest with friends far from anything, anywhere, deep in the forest, staying in a hut. And one of my colleagues saying, but what a pity in the middle of nature that they're working with chainsaws, you know. And I said, they're not chainsaws. It's the cicadas. So the cicadas were beautifully interrupting, but they pushed us to the left because we would be a little bit disturbed by that. But you can see that otherwise there's an emotional journey starting with the first aid kit, quite a relaxed place. A little bit stronger with letting go, where the duet and the dramatic situation, you know, we feel the tension there. It comes down, way down to the lowest, kind of most relaxed point from Moon River. It then jumps up again for there's a light for the highest point of arousal of the evening. And then we center at the middle with Try to Remember in a kind of moderately relaxing way. If we can have a look at the next slide. Then we have, I'm not going to bore people with details, just sort of take the most relaxing and most exciting of the songs. There's Moon River and There's a Light. And what we can see is the bottom of those analyses is what is happening in the most primitive, ancient part of our brain, the brainstem. And you can see the voice means a lot to us. You know, we evolved responding to the human voice. And so you can see that actually in both the cases of both Rachel and Mark, you can see at the very bottom line, this very, very smooth, consistent message, reassuring message from the voice. And this shows us the good school that they both kind of, because this is Mark's school of good breathing, of good sustained singing, of warmth of tone. You can see all of that. And then higher than that, you see how the disturbed one is actually the consonants, the notes, the turbulence that comes above that we must expect when we're singing. So these are things deep in the brainstem. If we go up, the blue line you come to is the motor cortex, and that is where music makes us want to move. And you can see that actually Rachel's song, There's a Light, makes us want to move more than Moon River. Moon River, I think we're chill out and we're being where we are in the moonlight. And in Rachel's song, we're being encouraged to move somewhere. It's a song on the move in a way. And then when we come to our other responses, we can see that that the auditory cortex, that's where we hear pitches and notes, we can see that both are quite active. Surprisingly so for tunes that are so tonal and so pleasing. And the answer is that both Rachel and Henry Mancini are very clever composers, because Henry Mancini can take something that sounds like consonants, moon with a moon, but then we go river. If you can hear my piano behind here, can you hear it? Just about. Well, that's a dissonance. It's a big dissonance. And then it was also the next one's a big dissonance. Wider than a mile. Big dissonance. And so Mancini is the whole time playing with consonants and dissonance in a beautiful way, very skillful way. As is Rachel in a different way. Rachel is using not even a scale, she's using a mode. And this sounds like this. It's called an Aeolian mode. And she's adding dissonances like, or like this. So that's why we have all of that activity there. And then finally, we get to the main responses where we're more relaxed with Moon River than with There's Lights. It's exciting, but both are making us feel happy. So there we are. That's my exercise analysis with many thanks to some beautiful performers. And I hope that our system also reveals the professionalism and the musical skill, both in terms of performance and composition of our wonderful guests from Louisiana. Thank you.
Thank you, Nigel, for that. That was really interesting as usual. And I think one of the things that really struck me about performances today was the importance of that breath and letting go of that breath sometimes. And Mark, it was a really lovely example for anyone who is watching in detail of how you were able to control your breath through your diaphragm. And this is what singers are trained to do. But actually, when it comes to our well-being, this is also what we train people to do. So you let go, have a slower out breath, and you let go of the tension on your out breath. And through doing that, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. That helps us rest and digest. So it calms us down, it chills us out. And it also helps us feel a bit more connected to ourselves and other people. Isn't that extraordinary? One of the things about singing in a group, of course, is then you end up with your breath synchronized with lots of other people, which is why singing in a choir is so amazingly good for our well-being. So focus on that out breath, letting it go slowly can really help. And this is what singing can help us to do and training that voice. So that was a really good demonstration of that for me. Thank you, Mark. And I think we'd like to leave you on that thought, really. What ways can you find, whether it be singing or breathing or meditation or something that might help you? Because one of the things that certainly helped me when I was learning to train my breath and to regulate things that way was bringing up really positive memories. And when you were singing about that song about remembering, I thought, yes, that's really important. When we bring to mind something where we have felt well and we felt regulated and we felt soothed, it really helps us to activate our breath and activate our nervous system in a way that we would want to be associated. So we can use memories and breath very deliberately together, and isn't that lovely? So maybe that's something you could try. And that's it from me tonight. Thank you to all the performers and to Mark and Chica for organising this and putting it together. It's been completely amazing as usual, and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Great, thank you everyone. What a lovely evening. One thing that I noticed was the background that really helped me relax. Seeing the river in the background and the green trees. And for me, part of my well-being is to get out into the park or into the local fields and just have a walk. And as Angela mentioned, the importance of the breathing and that slow out breath and how that impacts us and our well-being. Thank you very much for joining us. Most of you will be able to see the poll on the bottom on your screens. Again, if you join us on Facebook, please feel free to comment and share the video to anyone who you think might benefit. We hope to see you next week. Good night.